Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be sharing the easiest, the most yummiest vegan dump and go crock pot dinner that you probably have ever tasted. I promise you will be eating this on repeat like me. I'm a huge fan of one and done meals, so if you're just a lazy cook and you just want something delicious and healthy that you can feed not only yourself but the whole family, then this meal is for you. So let's get into it. All right, guys, so let's get started on this awesome recipe. So I just actually left all the ingredients as is. I was grabbing a picture for my thumbnail. So anyways, here are some of the core ingredients that we're going to be using today. So I've got a can of diced tomatoes. I've got a can of crisp and sweet corn, some salsa, Frank's Red Hot for, just a little extra kick, but completely optional if you don't like any spice at all. I've got a can of black beans here. I am not personally a fan of canned beans. I actually took these out of my storage closet. I always have them in case of an emergency, but I actually like to make all of my own beans just because they're super soft when you make them yourself. However, if you do use canned beans for the convenience of using canned beans, then you can certainly use that. And I've got 3 medium sweet potatoes here, an onion, and some parsley or cilantro. I alternate between either of those, but definitely if you want to swap out the parsley for cilantro, it brings an amazing taste to this recipe. At any rate, so those are the core ingredients along with a few spices we're going to be throwing in. So let's get started. All right, so first we're going to go ahead and add in our onion. So that's just 1 small onion chopped up. I will scrape out the rest there once I have a second hand to do so. And then we're going to go ahead and add in the sweet potato. As you can see, I just did it in, bite-sized pieces. So whatever you like. There is no hard rules to it. So that is 3 medium sweet potatoes. And then next we're going to go ahead and add in our beans. Now, these are the beans that I usually like to use. So as you can see, they are frozen beans. I will put the video up where I show how to make my beans, and I will have it linked in my description box below. So if you want to see how I do it, it's really the only way that I ever make beans, and they just turn out like butter soft, like super, super soft. So I just can't seem to bring myself to do canned anymore. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw in, I would say usually about like a cup to 2 cups of beans, just depending. But anyways, I'm going to need my other hand to do that. So I'm going to throw those beans in and then get on to the next ingredient. So there is 1 cup of beans right there. Just going to sprinkle those in. And I'm going to add a little bit more actually. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add about another cup. When I'm making these meals for my own family and for myself, I don't measure these things out. So I'm just trying to measure it out for you guys. So I would say roughly about 2 cups of beans. So I'm just going to go ahead and move these things down a little bit. As the food starts to cook, all this stuff is going to cook down quite a bit and there'll be some more space there. But for now, let's keep adding the rest of the ingredients. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and add in those diced tomatoes. And you can definitely add in the juices. So I'm going to do, I don't know, maybe like half a can here. Yeah, I use about half a can. But my crock pot is also on the smaller side. So if you do have a larger crock pot, just add in the whole can. Now we're going to go ahead and add some salsa. I find that the salsa is kind of the secret ingredient in this recipe. Well, actually, no, I have one more. I'm going to save that one to the end, and you will be very surprised what that secret ingredient is. But I would say that the salsa is the one that gives it the most flavor. I just love adding salsa to my chili. And the great thing about these type of crock pot meals, there is such a blend of so many flavors that when you're following a whole food plant-based diet, you really don't miss the oil at all. Like, these are my favorite types of meals because I find sometimes when you try to recreate certain recipes that, should have oil, but they don't, sometimes you feel that difference. But in meals like this, you absolutely do not. All right, before I show you how to finish off this awesome chili, in case it's the first time that you're landing on my channel, I have lost 60 pounds following an oil-free whole food plant-based diet. And while I was losing the weight, I actually kept track of all the recipes that I was eating the most. Now, the thing that catapulted my weight loss was removing overt fats out of my diet. Things like nuts, seeds, avocados, and of course oil. any of those higher fat plant-based foods. And that's what sets apart my ebooks from all of the other amazing vegan cookbooks out there, is that they contain zero overt fats. These are quite literally the exact recipes that I was eating to get the weight off, and now you can too. And right now I'm running an incredible sale on both of my zero overt fat weight loss books at 65% off. But this sale will only be running for the next 48 hours only. So if you want to check out that sale, the link can be found in my description box below. But for now, let's get back to this recipe. All right, so next we're gonna go ahead and throw in a small can of corn. Frozen corn would also work as well. Corn is also delicious in any chili, in my opinion. I absolutely love it. Kind of the more the better in my books, but at any rate, we're just going to use the 1 can. Again, if you do have a bigger crock pot, feel free to throw in 2 cans, totally up to you. She is starting to get quite full, so I'm just going to go ahead and push some of that down. Once again, I'm not worried about it. Once it starts cooking, it's going to kind of even itself out. But at any rate, on to the next ingredients. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and throw in a little bit of cilantro and parsley. Once again, feel free to use just one or the other, or like me, just throw in a little bit of both. So I personally love cilantro, and I feel like if you love cilantro, definitely go with that one because it adds such a nice flavor. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add in both. And look at these colors come together. And can I just say, this crock pot is not even on right now. And the way that this smells already, even without the spices being added, like it smells fantastic. Okay, so now we're gonna season this chili up. So you can either use 1 to 2 cloves of fresh garlic, or you can use, I would say about a tablespoon to, maybe even 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, just depending on how garlicky you like it. I love my garlic, so I'm gonna go ahead and add in about maybe another half a tablespoon. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and add in 1 teaspoon of cumin. Now we're gonna add in 1 teaspoon of paprika. And then we're gonna go ahead and add in 2 teaspoons of chili powder. Oh, and I should also mention that don't worry about writing down all these ingredients. I will have this exact recipe posted in my description box below. So you can just take a screenshot at the end of the video and you will be good to go. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and add in 1 teaspoon of Frank's Red Hot. Now I specifically say Frank's Red Hot because I am a complete weakling when it comes to spice. But I find that there's just the right amount of heat. So if you do want it a bit spicier, you can use whatever hot sauce you like, or if you don't like it spicy at all, then just leave that step out. But I just find that Frank's Red Hot is somewhere in the middle, it just gives a nice flavor. So that was just 1 teaspoon of that. All right, so these last 2 ingredients are completely optional, but they do bring out a lot of flavor. It just kind of, gives it more of a deep flavor. So this is just half of a teaspoon of liquid smoke. I love using liquid smoke in soups and chilies and stuff. It really does enhance the flavor quite a bit. I just buy mine at the regular grocery store, so it's not really hard to find. And this last ingredient is really going to surprise you, so just wait 1 second. All right, so the last ingredient is organic cacao powder, or any cacao powder. Now, you might be thinking like, what the heck, chocolate? I honestly cannot remember who or when or where I learned this little hack when it comes to chili. But adding some raw cocoa powder or cacao powder, it doesn't want to come off my spoon there. There we go. It really just deepens the flavor of the chili. I suggest giving it a try, but once again, it is totally optional if that just does not sound right for you. But I've tried it before and it honestly is amazing. But at any rate, so there was the true secret ingredient to this chili. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and just throw in a cup of liquid. So that can either just be straight water, which is fine with all these beautiful spices. It could be a cup of veggie broth. I'm actually gonna show you guys what I do when it comes to veggie broth because I typically don't buy it from the grocery store. I just whip up my own. So I'm gonna show you how I do that. So here's what I do. I love Vegeta, like I love this food seasoning, but just be sure to get the one that is MSG free. And then I just usually add about a tablespoon or so into about a cup of water, and that's it. You can add a little less, you can add more water and make it a little bit more dilute. You can play around with it to get it to the strength that you want. But that's all I do. I don't waste my money buying the ones at the grocery store because I just feel that these food seasoning bags, just yield a lot more. And that's it. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and pour this over the chili. There we go. And then we're gonna go ahead and give everything a good mix the best way that we can. It's a little bit full, but like I said, so it's gonna cook down. It'll be no problem. But these colors, these smells, oh my gosh, from the cilantro and the salsa and the liquid smoke. Oh my gosh, and all the spices. It just smells amazing. It actually smells like you could already eat it, although I'm not going to do that. But but it smells like I could. It's so, it smells so good. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get that cooking, and we will come back and check it out when it's done. So I'm going to put it on high for about 3 to 4 hours, but of course, kind of checking it throughout and seeing how we're doing. So I will be back soon. All right, everyone. So I cooked this on high for exactly 4 hours, and this is the final result. Now, if only you guys could smell how delicious this is. Oh gosh, how I wish. But anyways, this turned out amazing. So you just want to make sure that everything is super soft, super tender, and the sweet potatoes should basically melt in your mouth with every single bite. Okay, so a couple great key points about this meal. 1, it can be made in advance. 2, you can make a huge batch of it. And 3, it freezes really, really well. And another thing worth noting is that this meal you can actually eat all by itself. It's a complete one and done meal because you have your starches in there, you have your non-starchy veggies in there, so you can just eat this as is. But the other beautiful thing is that it pairs really well with a bowl of rice. You can actually put this on top of a baked or steamed potato. It would also go fantastic on some quinoa, or if you just had some fresh bread. Oh my gosh, the possibilities are endless. It is just so good and so versatile in what it can actually pair with. These type of dump and go meals, or one and done meals, however you want to say it, these are perfect when you're trying to lose weight because it just takes the guesswork out of what you're going to eat. You don't have to think of multiple things to put together for dinner. You know, you've got one meal that has it all, and that is good enough, especially if you don't particularly love cooking, then even better. So one of my favorite things to top this off with is some of my vegan garlic Parmesan cheese. Oh my gosh, this is so good. I recently just showed how to make this, but I will actually put the recipe to this cheese in my description box below. So once again, you can just go down there when this video is done and take a screenshot, and you will have both the recipe to this awesome chili as well as the garlic Parmesan. So anyways, I just go ahead and top it off, and there you go. You can add as much or as little as you want. It just adds a really, really nice flavor to an already delicious meal, but honestly, the whole thing is just so good. It is meals just like the one I'm showing you in today's video that helped me lose 60 pounds. I can't stress this enough. It is super important for you to like your food. If you don't like your food, you will not be able to stay consistent. And being consistent is where it is at. It's not about being perfect. It is just about being consistent. And that includes even when we fall off the horse, you just get right back up and keep on going. So again, if you are in need of some more oil-free, whole food, plant-based recipes, just like the one I'm showing you in today's video, that will help you to get healthy, it will help you to get some weight off, then be sure to check out that awesome book sale. Again, both of my newest books, Zero Overt Fat 1 and 2, are on sale for 65% off. Again, the link can be found in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and we will see you guys in the next one.